Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host Hamza Chowdhury. It's Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to today's daily recap video where we just go over some of the stocks that we cover on our Sunday night update video. And for today, it's going to be Apple, Tesla, Palantir, Clover Health, and I will go over a couple additional stocks that we've been tracking on this channel. As always, guys, I appreciate you. We're a 100% free content channel. If you did enjoy this video, it just helps with our channel to hit that like and subscribe button and share this with your friends and family, anybody that you know that might be interested in trading stocks, or in fact, if anyone is interested in just being an entrepreneur in general. We do a lot of things outside of stocks as well. Interesting today, guys. The stocks gap down in anticipation of what the Fed was going to do with the interest rates. It was just announced a few minutes ago, right before I started recording, that the Fed rates were going to be essentially, the interest rates were going to be near zero for the next couple of years to at least 2023. And obviously the market makers love it. And they responded by coming back into the market and buying shares. And so a lot of stocks, a lot of the sort of validated channels and pivots that we have, that we identify certain resistant levels were hit, and we'll just kind of go through them as the stocks are still trading. But you can see this sort of big volume that just came in the S&P in the last 15 minutes. Okay, and so we just got through that, and we're having sort of a pullback now. But you can see this massive bar just came in when the Feds announced that, and so everything usually comes and hits our levels, and so you can see we definitely closed the gap there from yesterday's close here, and now we're just sort of pulling back. Okay, and so just jumping in with Apple, which was also down for today. It's still down about 1%. We had this gap down. Apple's been actually one of the better stocks to trade, and just a minor pullback, guys. I mean, we were trading below one of our resistance levels here, and we bounced above it, and I expect us to hold the 123. And so if we can hold the 123 today and close above it, we'll change this to a support. And you can see that this 125 continues to act as resistance. And so we had one day where we bounced off of it. We failed today, and we haven't been able to sort of retest it. And so I still expect us to trade on Apple between the 123 and the 125. And again, on the RSI, we're essentially neutral. You can see that we've shifted to positive momentum for Apple. And so today, guys, we've had such a great reclaim from the lows from a couple weeks ago that it's just to me, it was just a pullback. I wasn't too worried about today. It wasn't anything more than just a minor pullback. We've had a kind of quite a nice run. And so, I think we'll bounce back, and we'll probably hold this 123 level and close, somewhere between 123 and 124. Wouldn't be surprised. Tesla, same thing. I was really a little surprised that we had closed and sort of opened by our 660 strong support, which we've kept and held. And right when this news came in, guys, all the S&P, right, just everything went right up to what our resistant level, which was 695, which unfortunately we broke yesterday, which I mentioned it was kind of disappointing considering how many days we had held it. And, that's where it got pushed to, and now we're holding that. So I expect us still to close below 695. That's still what I anticipate. But I expect us still to hold above 660. And so tomorrow we can definitely see, again, a retest of the 710. And like I mentioned, the more we can test it, the better chances we can break out. And my goal and price target for Tesla in the near future is still this 50-day 775 support. I've mentioned that several times. And so again, we're just getting a minor pullback. We're getting the test of an upper resistance that we've had, and we're going to get there. Okay, so it's just patience is needed, but we've had quite the retracement here. We've had a 40% discount on Tesla down here in the low fives, and so we're making our way back up at least to the 50, and then we'll trade between this channel that you can see the Bollinger Band is forming as we sort of trade sideways, okay, in the 600s. Palantir, actually one of the more weaker stocks. The CEO came out yesterday just really telling traders not really a short-term type of stock to get involved with. It's obviously been around for 19 years. It's done a lot of good in those 19 years, and it came out with the direct listing. And the Palantir CEO is very big on us, the retail traders, and long-term vision. And he's telling people, well, hey, if you're looking for a short-term gain, a short-term stock, this isn't the stock for you. And of course, he's entitled to his opinion. But you guys can see that again, we held the 2550, we gapped lower, and now the 2550, just as the recording of this video. Again, the levels we've identified, guys, there's no reason by coincidence it hits our levels, right? So 25.50 now is a resistance as of today. And so if we close below 25.50, in theory it is a resistance, but overall the market was weak because of the Fed news. So I'm still going to keep it green. If we can hold above it, and we'll see what happens tomorrow before I can decide if this is no longer going to be a future support, it's going to be a resistance. But in general, the market was weak coming into today until we heard the news, and now we've had this massive green engulfing candle, which basically took out everything we had coming into today. So I want to give this a shot. I'm recording about a couple hours before the market closes, so let's see if it closes above 25.50. We'll keep it as a support. If it closes below, potentially tomorrow we may have to change that into a resistance. You can see we had a perfect bounce off of that. Okay, so the fact that we had this pullback, and you can see that it's only pulled back not, essentially 50 cents, I still think that there's a good chance that we can definitely see more momentum to the upside, considering that we were trading up here in the 26 yesterday. Okay, Clover Health, guys, solid stock too. I know that a lot of you guys, are bag holding this stock. I mentioned I was buying in the low 9, so I'm a bag holder as well. And so I had this alert here, really expecting a breakout over 910 to hit our first resistance at 925. And so we haven't been able to cross the 910 level, but you can see the 815 has been solid for us, and we've been able to trade above that now for quite a while, about 5-6 days. And so I don't expect the stock to go back down. So again, just a minor pullback day. We reclaimed a lot of that, and so I'm still expecting that we can possibly get to 925 this week. And then, like I mentioned before, my game plan's still the same, to get to 1050. The volume's really left unchanged. We still do have positive momentum, and so I expect that we have this minor pullback today, and then we'll have, really, I'm still waiting for that engulfing candle to come in with higher volume, and that's when the buyers are in the stock. And so we're still waiting for that, and I expect that to happen, and that's going to be a day really where we start getting up here, okay, up into the 10s. And so we're just got to be patient with the stock. It is a slow mover, and so let's see what happens there. And Space is another stock I did want to cover. I ended up getting involved yesterday. I did buy, and I mentioned how it was just not a good day for me, just because I wasn't fast enough at the keyboard. One of the things I recommend is, if you have the ability to add hotkeys to your setup, which I do, to definitely use them. And sometimes it gets a little tricky because you don't want to hit the wrong key if you're buying or selling something. So hit, keys like you could buy a quarter position, you can sell a quarter position, buy half a position, sell a half a position, buy at the bid, buy at the offer, whatever the case is. Set up the keys to where you can be more efficient with how you trade if you are day trading. If you're not day trading, it's not really that big of a deal, but that's one of the things I mentioned to you guys here was 34 was a strong level for me, and we had a good bounce off of that for a 30-40 cent win, and I just wasn't fast enough, and I ended up getting kind of stuck in the stock. Not worried about it because it's the same setup, right? As you have this massive run up, as I mentioned, you have this minor pullback, and then we'll continue on. So I mentioned that my goal ultimately, definitely, the retest of 36.50 as a high, but definitely getting up here to the 50. So between 37 to 39 is where I'm probably going to sell my shares when that comes. Okay, so again, massive run up, minor pullback, and then I can see a continuation of this trend reversal. Okay, and just a follow up of SSY, my micro float stock that took me out yesterday because I didn't cover and I went full size. So guys, look what happens, right? Day one, right, the front side of the move, all the momentum, and then it just fades. Okay, and then what happens today? 330, which is what the open yesterday, right, the low. And so just thought it was interesting. I wanted to follow up with you guys because I mentioned how no risk management plan, micro float, 4.5 million shares, and this thing traded like 50 million within the first few minutes, and that's why this thing just blew out of the waters really quick, really high. And okay, I could have stayed in the trade, but I can also blow accounts when you stay in trades that are going against you. And so having a 10, 15, 25 cent stop loss would have made sense. Everything's just sort of happened as quick as it did, but you can see this thing's completely faded off, and you can see the volumes died down. Okay, so even a day two you could short, knowing that you don't have to worry about this type of volume and this type of manipulation. Okay, so with that said, guys, that's pretty much all for today's recap video. As always, please do post a comment if you have any questions on any trades that you're taking. For some of you guys, actually I will go in, I know some of you guys mentioned AI It's been a stock that we've been trading. I didn't trade it today, but I've been buying a lot of these scalp plays. So again, when you're trading stocks and you start to see that they're going to low, look at the most recent low, which was in this case about $77. And so today I think we hit a low of 79. Okay, so what you don't want to do is, like in this lower band, is find the bottom. But if you're trading sideways, just know that you're risking potentially the low of a recent low, which in this case was $77. Okay, and so we didn't even get there. Again, it's been trading sideways, not a whole lot of volume. And same thing, as you can see that the momentum is slowly shifting, and once the MACD crosses over the signal line, we should see some positive momentum, and the RSI is completely oversold. Okay, so this is a good buy. I would add to a position if I have cash, but like I said, I'm personally not trading it today. Okay, so you're risking down here to 77, 78, and that's where I would just get out of the trade. It's just not worth holding on and making new lows. But just because of the way this looks, it's just trading sideways, and again, we're just waiting for the volume to come in. And like I said, I would hold this all the way potentially up to even 100, 110. Okay, so this fill right here. All right, guys, with that said, best of luck as always. Take care. Bye-bye.